This video is going to be your permission slip to not feel bad, to not feel shame over putting yourself first, because you deserve to be put first. You are meant to be put first, which is something that you might struggle against a lot of the time. You know, when you start separating yourself from some people that, or a person perhaps, that wasn't doing or acting in your best interest, and you stayed perhaps a little bit too long, and now you try to distance yourself. You might feel guilt because of that. You might feel afraid when people are, let's say, not understanding you. You might be afraid to be misunderstood. And this video today is just for you to understand that you're supposed to be misunderstood. You're supposed to put boundaries. You're supposed to say no. You are supposed to follow your heart and do whatever your heart is telling you, despite how the environment around you reacts to that. Being your authentic self, being who you truly are, there is nothing more important. The greatest gift that you can give to others is to be your authentic self. And sometimes that makes no sense. I know. Because how that is the greatest gift to others, is at the spiritual level. Perhaps not on the human level, where we bring in a lot of judgments and ideas about how we should be acting, who we should be. And this is not a video where I'm telling you to be selfish and not care for others. This is simply a video where I tell you that you are the most important here. And you will always be the most important person. And you gotta allow yourself to be who you are. And allow yourself to experience yourself as you are. Because when we start second guessing ourselves, when we start second guessing if I can really do this, or if I should be responding to perhaps people in this way, if I should start putting myself first, like, stop it. Like, you should do that. You're meant to do that. You were always meant to do that. You were always meant to put yourself first. And that has nothing to do with anybody else. It just has everything to do with you. And you also realize that when you start putting yourself first and you start being unapologetic as hell about it, that everyone else starts to benefit from that as well. Because if, let's say, you stayed in a group of friends, for example, if you stayed with someone for longer than you should have, then you're also catering to who they are so that they can stay and maintain in the same kind of inauthentic space that they were in. You gotta break out of it. Stop hiding yourself. Stop catering to who you think that you need to be in front of other people. And this is, of course, a very hard thing to do for most of us. I have suffered my entire life from this. And there's a reason why we suffer from it. So that we can master it, come out on the other side and talk about it. And see the value in it. And experience the deep sense of peace that comes from transcending that cycle. You know, this experience that we're having, it is first experience within you. And putting that peace within yourself first is the most important thing that you will ever come across. Even if sometimes it seems like I need to abandon what is right for me to account for somebody else, that is never in your best interest. It is a survival mechanism, perhaps, something that you've used for a long time, because it kept you safe in an environment where it was hard to be who you really are. You know, that's sort of where we all start out in this life. In a place where it's really hard to be who we are, which is why we get lost, because nobody starts out as a people pleaser or someone that tries to dim their light, or that is always catering to other people's needs, or that is not fucking expressing themselves exactly who they are at all times. That is who you naturally are. And in order to move back into that, you gotta allow yourself to move back into that. Finally, spring is here. When you live in Sweden, like I do, and have my entire life, the sun just hits differently when it comes around. Because you spend such a long time in that darkness, in the cold, in the snow. And you get a much more deeper appreciation for spring and summer. And life works in the same way, you know. The reason why it's so hard sometimes to put ourselves first is because we're afraid to go into that space of that energy that preceded us doing that, of that shame, of that fear, anger. We're so afraid that if I am feeling as I truly am feeling, then there is something off about that. If I am being who I am being, if I'm putting a boundary, if I am speaking exactly as I am, that there is a little belief connected to all of that I am not good enough as I am if that happens. Or that if I do that, then that means that I'm not acceptable anymore. We're so deeply programmed by our upbringing, by this body's need for appreciation, for belonging, to be seen. But something that we all get so wrong is that the only thing that needs to be seen is not by anybody else other than you. You just gotta allow yourself to be seen as you are. And in these examples that I've been talking a little bit about here now, that means that you speak up for yourself and you assert yourself as you are, and you allow yourself to see yourself as this person. As the shame and the fear comes up that's been conditioned by your past, to understand that it means nothing. It never meant anything. It was just a wave floating through your awareness. And because that wave was floating through your awareness, it didn't mean that you were not good enough. It didn't mean that you shouldn't have felt in this way. It didn't mean anything. It's just here for you to experience, to move through it and move beyond it. Something that you're learning to do in this very moment now. Something that naturally should have happened a long time ago. But that you are coming across right now in this moment. The deep truth that nothing is supposed to be different. So I'm gonna stop trying to make it different by accustoming myself to these beliefs that I had, and allow things to be as they are. Because you, as you are, is very powerful, is very sure of yourself, understands your You understand yourself so well when you're connected to who you are. And that happens beautifully and naturally as you allow yourself to follow your heart and do what is in your heart in every moment. And that doesn't make sense to the world around you, and it is not supposed to make sense to them. It is only supposed to make sense to you. We all have our own unique truth here that we need to live by, that can only be discovered by you, and that will, in many other people's eyes, seem fucking ridiculous or seem totally fucking crazy. And that's good. It's supposed to seem crazy. If you're just normal in this world, then you're definitely doing something wrong. Because this world is conditioned so unconsciously. And the normal is fucking abnormal. So if you are a bit strange, if you're a bit weird, then you're most likely on the right path. Allow it out. Be who you are. Express yourself. And never feel bad for doing it. I'll see you in the next video. And also don't forget that I just released a course where I teach a lot about how to come into contact with your intuition, which is something that has kept me sane during this journey. As I felt like I was continuously falling without any control. It was nice to have that little reassurance of feeling that even though this makes no sense, I am in the right place. So if you want to learn how to develop that sense of knowingness, that where I am is where I am supposed to be, then check the link below. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys. Love you all. And later.